So, Tailed Feature, what did you do to Dankula once you realised he'd been recording you in the shower?
Nothing.
Oh, you're timing your comments to coincide with the live now, like I do. So. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's episode of Fake Accents Unite. Before I was so rudely interrupted, this week with the Britisher. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
With Mr. Tailed Feature.
Feskarma.
And eventually with Count Dankula, when I assume he gets back from being on the piss.
And, this was a bit of Bulgarian again you threw in there, Tailed Feature.
It absolutely was, yeah.
Just got a great love for it. I guess we have to confront the elephant in the room. I have killed Sar-gone.
You have, haven't you?
It was in one of two ways. Either my This Week in Stupid was that good that he decided it was so amazing that he was never going to make one again, or it was so bad that he decided that there was no coming back from it, and it had to be done.
So what you're saying is you thought that he thought the channel would never be able to recover.
Yeah.
Or that it was so remarkable that he would just not want to put out another one in fear of being compared.
Yeah, obviously. Seems to be.
Well, I mean, it's got to be the latter in that case, doesn't it? It has to be just the fact that he was just such sheer brilliance.
Well, you can stop sucking up now, but I'm sure.
So I guess I'm going to be invited back on next week.
He can't give you a This Week in Stupid if I've taken it away from him. In fact, this is what people realise is that people fail to realise this was my plan all along. Was for it to be either one or the other, and therefore the academic agent would never get an opportunity to make
that the fear was that the academic agent / sly sneak might get an opportunity, because to those people listening who don't know about this, there has been quite a bit of a rivalry between Sly Sneak's channel and Not So Obvious's channel.
Sly Sneak's channel is a complete meme. And it was created solely for the purpose of having a rival sub-count to mine. And the academic agent took great pleasure in basically...
rubbing your face in it.
Right, yes, rubbing my face in the fact that his audience was quite happy to...
obey his commands and go and subscribe to his
to go subscribe to this channel, which had very little content on it, and and basically... just have a higher count than mine, and then of course I go on. I've had this massive boost in subscribers. Hello, thank you for tuning in if you're new. And I've smashed them out the water. In fact, the Discord came up with some fun memes.
Effectively, your channel has been put on super male vitality.
Very Alex Jones. I've had some interesting memes about this whole thing actually, and including but not limited to. Let me just screen share a second and try and pull this up. There we go. And right, so first but not least is me throwing Sar-gone out of a helicopter because I'm done with him. The WWE meme. Workplace domination.
Oh dear God!
You make an attractive woman, I must say.
And I have no idea what this is. I assume it's throwing him off a cliff or something ridiculous.
It's not quite the Tarpian rock, but close enough.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was amusing anyway. There are a couple of others which I won't show, which are basically.
I wonder why that is. They're not family viewing, are they?
No, they're definitely not. They won't do my monetization application any favors. Let's put it that way, right? But there we go.
To be honest, given that your channel is of a certain bent, I wouldn't hold my breath for monetization.
Oh, what you mean, the old anti-establishment political bollocks? Yeah.
Because yes, I mean, I am still waiting to have my my review re-reviewed. Because apparently, even though I had 200 videos up, they still couldn't quite discern what my channel was about and needed to re-review it.
Of course, my channel has so few videos, and I make sure that all my controversial opinions are mentioned on other people's channels.
Yes, and,
So
you are familiar with Shinobi Yaka, who is sometimes on the quiz and so on.
Yes.
He's also a regular, I think, on Unpopular Opinions sometimes. And yes, his channel has also been, docked for re-review. So for some reason, they can't make up their minds with, reasonably new channels as to whether they want to monetize them or not. One can't help but suspect that has more than likely got something to do with those channels having certain leanings.
I think they have a 3-month backlog anyway. But there you go. Good evening, Count Dankula. Welcome.
Fiskarma, I'm your dad.
We're back to Bulgarian again, aren't we?
I'm regretting teaching you that now.
Yeah, I'm thankful almost that I don't really know what it means. So there you go. I'll just for the sake of Dankula, I'll pull up. Oh God, those are the memes which I shouldn't be showing. But it's too late now. They're out in the world to see.
You should feel proud that This Week in Stupid ended with you. in other words, you were so shit you ruined it.
Yeah, that's what we were just saying. Either it was so good that he feels that he can't ever put an episode up again because it will be contrasted to my brilliance, or it was so bad that it's killed his channel completely, and now he has to completely change direction and seek a new audience. That's what it is.
Fucking hell, man.
But no, how are you doing? You had a good day?
I'm fine, man. I've been productive as hell today, so now this is me chilling and relaxing.
I understand you've had a bit of a busy week.
I've had a very, very busy week. I've done a lot of traveling this month and I've hated it, so I kind of just don't want to leave my room for a few weeks.
You go back to the cave.
Yeah, they keep making me leave my mountain home. making me abandon the other hill tribes. Keep going south of Hadrian's.
Oh God, but into abroad, as you call it.
Yes.
Just gonna read some chats which say, "Danksin, cool. Just watch your speech from UKIP." Yeah. In what world did you ever imagine that you would be headlining a political conference?
This is the thing that I was thinking about the other day. See, when I was sitting filming, when I was sitting training Buddha, right? I just thought this would be a wee haha, and then that'll be it. I'll just continue on my merry way, right? But then, like, I didn't expect it to be ultimately, going to the EU Parliament and giving a talk there and giving a talk at the UKIP conference and all that. And it's just like I was actually sitting the other day just thinking to myself, what the fuck am I doing? Why does this keep happening?
Yeah, it sort of snowballed bigger than yourself. Certainly.
Yes. Yeah,
I cannot say that I caught the beginning of the speech. So I do hope you began the lines with "Friends, Britain's countrymen."
Maybe I would have done the Terry A. Davis version. I don't know if any of you know that version, but you probably don't want me to repeat it on stream.
No, perhaps not.
Yeah.
He's trying to get monetized, so yeah.
That's fair. I'll try not ruin that for you.
Yeah, have you even sought monetization, Dank?
See whenever I upload a video, like a couple minutes later, it will say you have an email from YouTube, and I'm like, I know, red flag, whatever, I don't care, well, man. But like, I've managed to get a few monetized. My purple Aki one got monetized fucking somehow.
Oh God,
that one was fine. My UKIP speech, when I first uploaded it, they demonetized it after review because they said it violated the what was it, the defamatory and incendiary part. And I was talking about freedom of speech. Like, I was like, how is it? All I did was re-uploaded it and got it reviewed again. And luckily this time it got reviewed by someone with a bit of fucking common sense.
Perhaps in that case it was someone in America or in another country other than Britain and not subscribed to the Labour Party who immediately saw that and went, "Oh, this is just evil."
Don't be silly. They don't hire anyone like that.
Yeah, can Corbynistas please stop reviewing my videos?
Sora Sapien has donated. Thank you very much, sir. $6.58 and says, "Tell AA I'm a proud man of the fourth biscuit." That's a bit of a meme now. His idea that you sit down, you have a cup of tea in front of you, for anyone who doesn't know, and you've just got in from work, you sit down to drink your cup of tea, and you've got a plate full of biscuits. You have the first biscuit with your tea, maybe a second one, but the question is, do you take the third biscuit? And his argument is, if you take the third biscuit, it's absolutely immoral, and you're just a complete degenerate, a waste of skin. So... The fourth biscuit is on another level. Thanks for reminding me, Sora Sapien. If anyone wants to guarantee that they'll get their message read out, I don't have Super Chat, but I do have Streamlabs, and you can follow the link in the description, and a message will come through for me that way instead. So there you go. Joe Neverton says, Joe Neverton says, after my Dr. Mengele joke on AA's unpopular opinions, I feel bad for Dankula. Okay. And the show comment man says, when will Dankula apply to become an actual count? How long before we become an actual member of the aristocracy? Like,
hold on now, I don't need your fucking Anglo-Saxon titles. Fucking Klansman will do me just fine.
Is that Klansman with a K? He's been outed, lads.
Yeah, at the weekend, someone was like, "Oh, how do I address you?"
Yeah, legit. Someone actually said that, and I was just sort of like, "No, I'm not an actual aristocrat." Like,
I go by the moniker Count Dankula, but please. The Count is my father. Just call me Dank.
Just do me the Idi Amin one. You will address me as Lord of all the beasts and animals, God of the ocean. It takes about half an hour.
Did they not eventually just say Mr. Count?
Yeah, people would call me Mr. Count. I kept saying, "Call me Dank." But that was the best I could come up with. And even internally, I was going, "Call me Dank." Like,
well, the spurgery that comes from being live on the internet. Juicy Blue Will says just call him Daddy.
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to be a popular one. Gerard Batten calling Count Dankula. But how many people do you have to correct who called you Meechin?
Quite a few. Quite a few. A lot of people did actually keep saying Mark Meechin, and I was just like, that fucking foreigners. Say my name right.
The same people who say Loch Lomond.
Loch Lomond.
Yes, instead of Loch Lomond.
Well, the Americans that go like, "Oh, Glasgow,
Edinburgh,"
and then these are the same people who claim to be Scottish later.
Yes.
Yeah,
you know.
I'm Scottish,
Scotch Irish.
For some reason, they're all related to Scottish aristocracy.
Of course.
Yes.
And they would have been.
Well,
they all have their own tartan.
Scottish people are all related to each other.
McDonald's does have a tartan.
See,
Speak for yourself.
Unlike the English, the Scots actually know their heritage most of the time. So, the Americans can't get away with it so much there, I guess.
Like the best one was hearing an American try and say Loughborough, and they said Luga Baruga. that stuck with me.
I'm from Hock Up a Loogie.
It's also, we get a similar thing down here with people trying to say Milton Keynes, but let me see. There actually wasn't that much news coverage, I thought, of the UKIP Party Conference, at all.
Of course, there wasn't.
Whereas the Labour conference is getting a lot, the UKIP one didn't. I did, however, find some interesting articles. Just to let me see what we've got here. We've got showcasing new members, new leaders, new goals, with over 1,300 members, blah, blah, blah. And then it's talking about the skeptic think tanks, but it says, where has it gone? I'm trying to find, 30 UKIP members delivered speeches, including Neil Hamilton's famous World Gone Mad address. Free speech activist Mark Meakin.
Oh, thank you. It's better than alt-right mouthpiece.
Creating clandestine recruiting tools since 2016. Otherwise known as Count Dankula. And you know that they every time that they have to type your name, they cringe inside. I know I do.
Good.
Lectured on extreme political correctness society alongside InfoWars journalist Peter W. and YouTuber Carl Benjamin. So they haven't described you as a YouTuber, Mark. They've just called you free speech activist.
Because he was the only one that was there.
But it's also much better than comedian with comedian in fucking quotes.
Yes, yeah. I'm just about to say that.
Yeah, that's a.
I don't think you can have comedian like in quotes. Like you can have bad comedians and good comedians, but you can't have people who are not comedians who call themselves comedians.
Oh well, I think some of the people that follow Dank on Twitter would disagree with that.
Well, I think you haven't watched Saturday Night Live recently.
Oh no, you get them. I get people do it all the time. You're not a comedian. Comedians are supposed to be funny. And then I'm like, really? Who's your favourite comedian? Oh, Jimmy Carr. Yeah, he's not funny. I said comedian. Who's your favourite comedian? Well, see how this works.
Yeah. The how was the conference overall? Actually, like, what was the vibe?
It was busy. Tailed kissed a 50-year-old woman.
Did you actually?
No.
Yes, he did.
What? I don't remember that. I know.
She now won't stop calling.
I know. I got drunk the first time in like 4 years, but I don't remember that.
Was that before?
I can't keep it going. I was going to be mean and go internally there. I was like, yes, he doesn't remember. I can totally keep this going.
I wasn't that pissed.
Yeah, man. You took her back to your place and you had sex with her, and then afterwards she made you spaghetti hoops.
It fit many hoops, brother.
You fit many lips, brother.
Rubber dingy rackets, bro. Was this before or after the singing incident? That's what I want to know. Like,
what was that? I can't remember which day that was. Was that the second day?
What singing incident was this?
Oh, this is the one in the shower.
Me singing in the
shower.
This is the person who actually recorded it, asking in all innocence what the singing incident was.
Yeah.
You got too much enjoyment out of that. I'm just going to say, it's just this entire... You can hardly hear what he's singing just because of the giggling. It's just like... He's like a 15-year-old schoolgirl, just like...
Oh no, he fucking burst into... Oh, we've totally forgot the name of that song, but it was our anthem while we were away. What was it? Was it Sun, Fire and Earth or something?
Earth, Wind and Fire.
Earth, Wind and Fire. Yeah, he bust into that just after I stopped recording. I was so upset because I couldn't have got that on camera.
I was singing a bit of Schumann before that, and then suddenly Earth, Wind and Fire, because why not?
It's good to know how you cope when you're stressed.
It's pretty stressful being Marcus Meakin's minder.
I mean, it sounds pretty stressful just being like having to share a room and not being sure what he's going to do in the night, to be perfectly honest.
Well, it was going to be a romantic weekend, wasn't it, Mark?
Oh yeah, I walked into my room and it was like a double bed, and I was like, oh, it's fine, it'll be just two singles pushed together, and I was like, nope, that's a double bed. And then I sort of had to go downstairs, like, pardon me, sir. However, I am not of the gay. I'd really appreciate not having Tailed Cabercock brushing up into my back while I'm sleeping. Because Tailed, especially when he's got a drink in him, Tailed gets a little bit handsy.
know, I just would have expected you to be like Morecambe and Wise, you know, all tucked up in a double bed, watching television together, sharing a tube of Pringles.
Or maybe like
That's a euphemism if I've ever heard one.
maybe like Bert and Ernie.
Oh, no, don't. Oh, that's spicy.
We've seen that. I assume you've all heard about that particular train wreck.
Yeah, I heard they were a pair of flamers. That's what I heard. The writer just came out and just went, "Yeah, fuck it, they're gay. Why not?" Like fucking stupid, man.
Oh, I do have to ask. Dankula, what did you think of This Week in Stupid? More specifically, the background art that is spread across the video.
Well, mine was better. No, but I liked it. You were very good. Quite.
I think he was referring to something that was visible in the lower.
Are you talking
right
about when?
corner?
Are you talking about when Sar-gone fucking had me in the chokehold?
Yes, in Boomer Valley.
Yeah, he pretty much. That was like he wanted a selfie, and he pretty much had to like hold me up. Like I was absolutely.
You were on your knees at that point, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sar-gone is a short boy. He's a, you know, everyone press 1 in the chat if you're taller than Sar-gone. You're about to see a lot of ones.
Yeah, about to see a lot of ones.
So he's about, what, 5'7", 5'6", something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, but however, though he is a strong boy, he's built like an iron barrel.
Yeah, he's a good lad.
You know, he's probably like Gimli the dwarf.
With slightly less beard, but slightly more personality.
Yes.
Saurosapien donated $6.58 again, thank you, sir, and said that 50-year-old woman at the conference admired all of his tailed features.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Dear. The only other article, like this is a serious article I've got here, like basically moaning about the fact that UKIP's been growing and it shrank and now it's growing again. But the other one that I found was this one, which I think is going to be more in the vein of entertainment rather than serious political commentary, which is obviously why we're all here. So UKIP doubled the price of condoms for sale at their party conference. Give the punters what they want until they can hardly stand or afford it. UKIP screwed its members at the weekend by doubling the price of branded condoms for sale at the party's conference as supplies began to run dry.
Surely that's what happens, though. The more
supply and demand.
Yeah, the more in demand someone becomes, the higher the price goes.
I know, it's kind of like a backhanded compliment, isn't it? These damn capitalists,
Hold on, can I just read this part? But as demands outstripped supply, those spotty-faced capitalists exploited their electorate. Like, it was Nigel Farage fucking condoms, man. Like, this is the true face of capitalism. Fucking meme condoms. Like, fuck off.
This whole article is a complete meme, I'm pretty sure, but it's hilarious. Yeah. It's like a pack of one prophylactic was going for £1, and for those with greater need, a multi-pack of 4 was available for £2.
You know, by the way, the multi-pack is the better option because, you know, we were in Birmingham, you double wrap.
Always double bag, always.
You see, it just shows what it basically just indicates my innocence. That when I first saw a picture of Count Dankula brandishing one of these condom packets with Nigel Farage's face on it, I actually assumed it was a sugar sachet. So I actually tweeted sugar and spice ?
We should have replied, no, just all things nice.
I probably wouldn't be so good on your dick, you know, unless you're Amos Yee. Oh Jesus! That's spicy. I apologise.
Coat Rack 89 says, "Oi, you got a license to show the link in your screen share, mate?" I do until next year, and when it finally gets ratified. God, that's awful.
Well, we still don't really know what exactly is going to happen there, because if it gets ratified next year, we may actually already be out of the EU.
It also won't be enforceable for another 2 years. So
But
There is that.
it's also an interesting one because I have got the feeling that the British are actually very keen on this.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I suspect they have been one of the driving forces behind it. So even though we may escape the EU version of it, I wouldn't be surprised at all if the British, even if it doesn't get ratified through the EU and thereby sort of enforced here, that they basically come up with their own version.
We'll see. We'll see. But we didn't talk about that
Because
at the time.
something tells me that Theresa May is more than likely not going to be that paragon of freedom that basically just goes, oh no, we don't need this for our country.
Yeah.
Sorry, I completely killed the mood. Yes, let's talk about condoms.
Let's not think about our impending doom. Let's instead think of the fact that Nigel Farage's face is being sold on Johnny's for £2.
I actually still have mine.
Of course you do. It's just, Sue wouldn't let you use it.
I was going to say you went in dry.
I think
I remember that.
To assure us that he still has his, in order to kind of indicate, no, I'm sorry, nothing happened.
No, I'd just like to sort of indicate it so that everybody knows that they're still in danger. It's like
that is, of course, unless yours was part of a multi-pack purchase.
No, I got given one for free. They just gave me one. I think the guy that gave me it was trying to tell me something.
You didn't take his drink, did you?
Being a convicted criminal has its advantages. Then,
yeah, I was basically going around extorting the booths. Just give me free shit. I didn't get a UKIP thong. I'm afraid I didn't get one.
So after you got the one and you found out that the price for it was actually £1, you demanded to be given 799 others for free, did you?
Just going to walk into the fucking Crown Prosecution Services and dump them down, going, there you go, fucking leave me alone.
No. You can't. We know you can't pay with the condoms, but you might give them to charity, right?
I'm going to donate these condoms to a children's hospital.
Oh God!
Kids can't get sick if you never have them in the first place.
I'm sure all those dead and dying children will appreciate that.
This could have all been avoided, wee man.
Oh God! By the end of the first day, we sold 100 condoms. Due to the exceptionally high demand, the 4 for 2 offer was dropped, and we raised them to £2 each, and we still sold out well before the end of the conference. 1,400 tickets to the 2-day gathering were sold, so that's a lot of people who left with a feeling of dissatisfaction, saying there weren't more to go around.
That was cool.
This isn't the first time that UKIP have done this. Back in 2015, they did a similar lot with the slogan, "Don't waste an election." And so on. They said they were so popular with the latest safe sex hoodies that they'd made. They made a return later in the year. In a time-honored fashion, blah blah blah. Basically they opened it up to their audience, the commenters. There are 84 comments on this article of things that people have decided to go on the next condom. So we've got this is retain the picture of Farage and use the caption, "This is what happens when you don't use protection."
That's actually quite funny. Sorry. That's
UKIP, when you're done, don't forget to put it over your head. You don't need this. Go fuck yourself. I'm starting to get the impression that many of the people who read these articles aren't particularly UKIP or pro UKIP. There are some funny ones like "It's too late to pull out now."
Made for a bunch of cunts.
And the extra strength ones are for a bunch of assholes. Close the border for something. A burqa for your boner.
That's fucking brilliant. That's amazing.
Here's your 350 millimeters a week. Let me see. All these people.
That's a bit long to go on it.
I know. Yeah, we're not going on there. Let me see. For fucking idiots. That's a double entendre there.
Yeah.
UKIP, not an accident.
Just to let you all know, ever since I uploaded my UKIP speech, there's obviously a chunk of my subscribers who are out of the loop. People are actually commenting, going, "I thought the UKIP thing was just a meme, and I'm actually losing subs." Fantastic.
When a meme, like the thing is, they don't realize that it still is a meme, but you can't pull out now. It's gone, as you say, it's something that's gone. You ended up at the European Parliament. You're like, fuck, this was a bit much for a laugh, wasn't it?
that'll be on the next fucking Farage condoms. You can't pull out.
Oh god. Let me see. Anything interesting? Nigel Fromage balloons. Let me see. We screwed the country. Now let's screw each other. I'm getting the Remain vibes.
Omelette du Farage.
God. Yeah. Because you're such a prick. Yep. I think that's I still have that burqa for your boner comment though. That's brilliant.
I think that's the winner.
Oh god. Saurosapien once again, $5 says that condom is for the first night after his wedding with Sue.
No, we don't use protection. You know, I don't use condoms. I'm not a pussy. but like, soon as we're married, then once it is blessed in the eyes of God, me and Sue will immediately be trying to continue the white race.
Start your own clan.
What are you going to call your? I'm just reminded of a Michael McIntyre sketch about him. Basically, I think it was one of his things where he's like, basically, I try and come up with the worst name possible for my child whenever another mother comes across and asks the name of the child. And so one time you just go, Adolf. It's like, what's Dankula going to name his kid? What will Sue let Dankula name his kid?
Oh yeah, Sue will never allow it. But we've got good old Scotch names. Good old Scotch names. That's the ones that we want.
Glen Morangi, Talisker.
Yeah. Old famous grouse. Yeah.
This is my son Glenn, short for Glenfiddich.
But actually, given that you said you would continue the white race, wouldn't the two of you actually, given all your tattoos, qualify as people of color?
People of multicolour.
So you're continuing the translucent race.
Oh god. Yeah.
Moving on.
I'm just trying to think how that works.
It's like pregnant silence. Yes.
Yeah, you know. Oh god. Now I've got articles open from where I want to, like, this is the thing, right, with the whole Sar-gone thing, is the response has been so positive from the This Week in Stupid, and now he's no longer making This Week in Stupid. I was like, do I start a weekly news segment now? That could be a thing. Yeah,
I was going to say the British element. I'm going to call it This Week That Was Stupid.
This week. I just love the fact that you're clearly an avid viewer of the Britishers The Week That Was.
Yeah, I do. You know, I don't want to get a big head though, so I keep it to myself. Like I'm kidding on.
How dare you? Ever since the quiz, you're on a Britisher high. You can't stop watching his content, and
particularly when he appears in the actual Week That Was, it does actually help. Yes.
So you think all Dankula's career will be from now on is attempts to get featured in the Week That Was?
Well, I don't think he needs to attempt that hard. I think he's more than likely the person who's appeared more often than not.
The thing that how many
times was he in court?
Oh god, But to be fair, nothing has inspired the most vitriol on the week that was than that upskirting bill that appeared, right? And who was it who was pushing it? I can't remember who. It was Theresa May, but who was the MP who pushed it?
Oh dear God, what was she called?
Was it Jess Phillips? No.
It might actually have been Jess Phillips. Yes, I think it was Jess Phillips.
Maybe, right. So this members bill that was basically going to make taking upskirt photos a crime all of its own. Completely serviceable with like 3 years in prison and everything. And the Britisher just seemed to get a little bit of an aneurysm over this and decide that it was far too dangerous a bill to go through, and therefore he needed to make a video on it like every 2 or 3 hours in order to prevent it from being pushed.
But
they never mentioned if up kilting was going to be a
kilting. Yes, yes. No, but I just found that 2 years. I mean, for one, it's already illegal. You know, I think it falls under outraging public decency. So the entire rhetoric around it of, oh well, we need to make this illegal because I mean it's outrageous. You think, well, yes, it is illegal. You don't have to make anything illegal as such that is already illegal. You're just seeking to make it more illegal.
Yeah.
At a time when you're claiming not to have enough parliamentary time for Brexit debates, you are then putting aside parliamentary time to talk about this, which is in fact already illegal. And instead you then want to up it to 2 years in prison. And you think, I'm sorry, but what sort of crimes can you commit for which you get 2 years in prison? And then think, would upskirting fall into that category? And you just go, no, I'm sorry. You know, cocaine dealers go to prison for 2 years, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like in France, there's a headline today that in France, a drunk guy got on a bus somewhere outside Paris. And he made a comment about a woman's breasts and smacked her bum. 3 months in prison.
Fucking hell.
I'm sorry, but you people are completely losing the plot with this Me Too nonsense.
People say 3 months in prison, and all I hear is $8,000 of taxpayers' money.
Precisely. It is thousands of pounds of taxpayers' money that is spent in incarcerating this person. And what are you actually hoping to achieve? And you think, well, of course this person shouldn't be doing this thing, but the punishment must somehow be in proportion to what the alleged offence is. And when you hear 2 years for upskirting, you just go, I'm sorry, but on what planet would that ever be appropriate?
Particularly how long is it going to be, right, before we're approaching the city gates, and you've got the old tree outside with the guys on the nooses just swinging from it, with fucking signs attached to their chest saying something like "sent an unsolicited dick pic" or some shit like that, man. Like that's the path we're going down. I mean, we've got misogynist heads on pikes hanging over the castle walls.
Somewhere within the next 20, within the last 24, 48 hours, there has been another female Labour MP. For some reason, they're always female Labour MPs. Demanding that nobody be permitted to have anonymous social media accounts. So such a thing as Count Dankula or the Britisher shouldn't be allowed to exist. It has to be right from the beginning. It should be our personal, private names.
Everyone's username is going to be something like Callum Smith, 123 Sesame Street. Fucking followed by your postcode, your phone number, your fucking national security number, national insurance number.
No, we'll have
John Smith and Tom Jones. Yes,
we'll have national security numbers at that point. It's just it'll be called a national security number, but it will just be basically a criminal record.
They'll just be tattooed on our forearms, but we will have them.
Oh wow.
The Britisher gets dark on Fake Accents Unite.
This is the thing, man. Like, see the SNP now. The Nazis themselves were National Socialists with an identitarian agenda. The SNP are National Socialists with a social justice agenda. I'm just saying.
God.
Nicola Sturgeon does at times have a rather sinister twinkle in her eyes.
Yes, she does. So basically, if Scotland ever gets independence and then she gets in charge, it was good knowing you, boys. Looks like I'm going for a show.
I think you'll
suddenly be applying to become English, will you?
I would rather die.
I would fucking sprint head first into the fucking chamber. I'd be walking in there with my fucking Lynx Africa body scrub.
I think you get to a point where you get to the point where you're about to sign to become a British citizen and realize what you're doing, and then ask them to burn you.
By that point,
we'll have to kind of do sort of, England indoctrination camps, won't we? Whereby, we're not just releasing them into the wild in England. They first need to be properly integrated.
He's civilizing us, yeah.
Yeah. So they all need to kind of learn how to sing 3 Lions on a shirt and things like that.
See, if it gets to that stage, I'll just call in the Americans to annex us. We have oil.
America, we have oil. We've got lots and lots of oil. And brown people.
You can kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah, you love invading places like that.
He says. I say that as I sit in the middle of in a London. It's like...
Speaking about
just put out some fake rumor that the Scottish government is seeking to nationalize Donald Trump's golf course.
Oh. That would do it.
Oh God! Have you heard about what Jeremy Corbyn actually wants to nationalize?
Everything.
Basically everything. And he was like, we need to democratize everything, including forcing workers onto company boards and stuff like that. It's
isn't that what unions are meant to be for?
Exactly, right? But he's like, no, quarter of all boards have to now be under his policy would have to be workers, people who, but it's how do you define worker? You're saying the people on the board don't work.
But all of them would have to be, a significant proportion at least would have to be female workers, right?
Obviously.
Let's not forget.
Batman's Pet Goldfish says, I was looking at that alternative internet network, I think, or alternative influencers network chart, I assume it is, and I realized Dankula wasn't on it. You've worked so hard these last 2 years, Dank. The least they could do is slander you.
Well, one of the best things when it came to Labour was last year. I don't know, this year they might have changed the wording or whatever, but they had kind of set aside that they wanted to effectively borrow so many £100 billion, and then they would have a sort of a great sort of investment bonanza, as they would see it, in building infrastructure and whatever. And one of the things they wanted to use the money for was to buy utility companies.
Right.
To renationalize them.
Oh, didn't they have this whole thing on renationalizing water?
Things like water and things like that they wanted to renationalize. But they were putting it down in their actual balance sheet as investment.
Oh, God.
They were putting it down as investment into infrastructure. And you just think, no, I'm sorry, buying a company is not investment in infrastructure, because you don't lay a single, yard of pipe.
No, you just take
the company.
You take ownership of existing pipe.
Yes, you're basically buying the company with which you can lay more pipe. But as such, you haven't actually laid any pipe by purchasing the company. And yet they're trying to sell you this in this kind of card trick, in kind of trying to make out we are going to invest all this money in new infrastructure. But in fact, the money is going to be used to buy the infrastructure companies. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting sort of insight into how these sort of parties operate, if you know what I mean. It's all playing on words.
Yeah. It's almost as bad as John McDonnell's trying to justify the cost of his manifesto, and they're going, how much is this going to cost? And he was like, oh, it's fine, it pays for itself. How much is it going to cost? It's okay, it pays for itself. How much is it going to cost? Look, it doesn't matter how much it's going to cost. It'll pay for itself. And that was basically his entire interview in a nutshell, but spread out over 10 minutes. And you just go, oh God, dear God, don't let these people get into power. Oh. And now, what's our alternative? Remy.
I just want to say something here. I've just been sent some tweets. Is anybody aware of the jolly chap, Vadim Nukist?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've just seen some tweets. Basically, the Jews that I am friends with are a little angry because he is kind of denying certain aspects of the Holocaust. And everyone's going, that is Holocaust denial. And he's like, no, it's not. It's World War II revisionism. Which is, I really want to touch that and go, hello, Vadim. Remember all those things you said about me?
Like, when you say certain parts of the Holocaust,
yeah,
you know, which parts particular of the Holocaust?
I don't know. I think I get it sent to me. He mentioned something about numbers, which is usually how it starts.
Yes, it does have a certain ring to it. This.
Well, you know, maybe it wasn't 6 million, and that's it. That's all it takes. That's all it takes.
Thin edge of the wedge.
Box.
It's the thin end of the wedge, lads.
So what you're saying is you're woke on Holocaust denial. Is that it?
Me? No. No.
It
happened, and I wish it would happen again. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Oh,
jeez. There goes your monetization.
There you go. Nobody clip that.
If everyone could clip that and send it to Vice, that'd be fantastic. All those guys seem pretty bored.
Yeah. No. They're guaranteed to subscribe to me. You know how edgy they are over at Vice. The no publicity is bad publicity. You know. I mean, you can't say that you got a bad deal out of it.
Oh, they tried it. Do you want to know the thing that we're all laughing at? We haven't said anything about it yet. We're just going to keep it to ourselves. Did you see the picture going around of me and all the young independence guys doing the OK symbol?
Oh God, no!
Yeah, we were all like, just do it. Like, it will make the media really angry, and then we were like, yeah, okay. And we did it, and now all the media are getting really angry about it, and we're sort of like, cool, thanks guys. So we're going to keep that to ourselves and just let them fucking run with it, because fuck them.
God.
Can I just briefly? Someone's taken a screenshot of Dank's the UKIP speech, and at the very beginning, obviously, you say, known by my YouTube name, Count Dankula, but closed captions it says, known by my YouTube name, Count Thank Allah.
Send me that. I'll fucking tweet that out.
Oh, I just love how many people just find this crap. Like, who thinks to go, you know what, I'm perfectly fine in hearing. I will turn on closed captions just to see what's there. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I'll have to find what I did, but...
let's do chat saying, breaking news, Count Dankula says the Holocaust didn't go far enough.
My word.
Naka Levy says, UKIP member dabs on Jews.
Wow.
There weren't even that many Jews in Europe.
Oh.
I mean, were there even 6 million on Earth? I'm just going. Right. Anti-Semitism out of the chat. Thank you very much. That would be great.
This isn't a Corbyn rally.
Yeah. No. Goddamn Labour voters in the chat.
I had, oh, Mark, you have no idea the power of autism.
I just sent you the screenshot there, Dan.
Oh, God.
Someone tweeted that at me. I've just retweeted it.
All right, cool.
Count Thank Allah. I ain't even mad.
Yeah, I remember a certain moment long ago when you reacted to someone referring to you as Count Dankula.
Count Dankula. Put a wicked donk on it, bro.
who say
Dunk on it.
Count depends on the numbers Dankula.
Oh wow! Oh god! This is why another thing that makes me feel so bad about that is I know what Sar-gone meant. Like I know what he meant. It just it sounded bad. Like it did. Like I know what he meant by what he said.
But
But
you're talking about the pedophilia thing.
Yeah, but this is the thing though. Like I had people at UKIP coming up to me and talking to me about it, and then I was basically what happens now is they now treat emails from Sar-gone the same way that people treat news about Trump from CNN, where they go, this is probably a lie, and then they investigate it, and then they go, yeah, it's a lie.
To be perfect, that's probably a smart move by them, to be perfectly honest. And yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about with regards to that.
Yeah,
it's just it's amazing how far out of context goes, and it's also amazing how many articles and how many articles can fit so many in quotes, like in what's the word I'm looking for, where it's God, fuck's sake.
You constipated again today?
No. Again? Like, what have you been listening to? Like, are you stalking me, Brescia? But how would you know about yesterday? Never mind. The oh god, like alleged, like the alleged quotes, like around something.
Inverted commas.
Inverted commas. Thank you very much, Mr. Britisher. Why? The Scots obviously don't know grammar, so it's fine.
I was only half paying attention. Sorry.
Yeah. No, yeah. So inverted commas, right? So like alleged racist Sar-gone of Akkad, who is a member of the alt-right, who is a member of the of UKIP's sort of propaganda division. Oh, and a number of people who keep saying that War Plan Purple is Sar-gone's account.
Yeah,
that's amazing. It's not. My mate runs it. I know him. And
I think I met him at the conference actually.
There was
I'm not going to dox him, obviously.
No. He's a good lad though. But he was just like this one guy I was getting into argument who was like, you know it's Sar-gone. Admit that it's Sar-gone. And I was like, look, it's my mate. I don't know how I can tell you. He's like, is your mate named Carl?
and then you do a video for Carl Ben.
Yeah, I know.
The plot thickens.
Obviously, I'm such a small figure. No one really knows who I am, so that doesn't really come up. But it's just like, I said no, and he's like, I'm not convinced. And I'm like, there's no way I could convince you if you're just gonna you're not gonna believe me if I'm just like, look, it's this guy and it's definitely not Carl. But I
got a business card, War Plan Purple business card. So that's
really,
yeah. That's quite a cool thing to say in a Scottish accent. War Plan Purple.
Just anything with multiple syllables in, to be perfectly honest, in Scottish.
Well, especially if it's got lots of R's in it.
Who is it? Who's
a menu option at a fish and chip shop in Scotland? Really,
I'd like a battered War Plan Purple. A battered supper.
Who is James Allsup?
He's
alt right, as far as I know. I believe he is.
I think so. Yeah.
I got someone sent me one of his videos, like basically going, War Plan Purple is definitely Sar-gone's account, and you basically was like, Sar-gone is ruining UKIP, and then a link to like loads and loads of tweets from War Plan Purple and going, this is clearly him, and he's doing a terrible job of it, and I was like, it's not him.
Yeah, actually, this is a question I'd like to ask. Are we any the wiser by now how many people actually joined UKIP?
It's been, I think, the youth division was up 300%.
Okay, but
that's no hard numbers there.
People.
What do you mean?
Like, because they said it was like
at the time there was there was sort of figures going around. No one really knew where they had originated from. That were saying, well, thousands of people had joined, and you kind of wonder, well,
there's definitely been at least a few thousand. There definitely has been.
Yeah,
there definitely has been a few thousand, but I don't know the exact figure.
So this is obviously the Pug Breeders Association from Crufts that has
apparently the guys from before, you know, who only had to, you know, process like 3 applications a week, apparently they are fucking furious at us. Because like they now have this huge backlog of fucking applications, which I think quite funny.
God. The Saurus Sapien has donated another $5. Thank you very much, sir, and says, I'm the one of the regional leads for the Yorkshire Liberalists, and I'm a high Tory. Good to know. It's like
an actual high Tory.
An actual high Tory, as opposed to... were you on stream with me, Tailed, when we had Callum Ferguson on?
No, I still haven't spoken to him.
Because he had basically a run-in with AA the other day. Because he was on a stream with a guy called Captain Switzerland, who's basically a left, like he's a proper lefty. He wants Corbyn to win, etc. And it revealed that he was in favour of some social policy or something. And AA has basically banned him from all future appearances because he's just like filthy leftist. How dare you? I believed in you. Like the memes came out of like Star Wars, like from episode 3, where it's like you were supposed to join the left. You were supposed to fight the left, not join them. Just this horrendous. Anyway,
yes, he's turning into quite the purist, isn't he? Our academic agent.
Yeah, well, he got accused of creating his own echo chamber the other day, and I mean, people aren't wrong, but I wouldn't say that they necessarily agree with one another as much as people think they agree. Yeah, interesting. I lose 30 people instantly viewing the second I go into YouTube drama. It's like, right. Kids are sick of established parties. Give them the benefit of thinking for themselves. It's difficult, isn't it? Like, I don't know whether or not UKIP can go anywhere personally, but there you go. That's my take on that one.
I think the only thing UKIP can really do is force the Tories into a turn, because that's what they effectively did with the referendum. The only reason the Tories basically ever put up a referendum was because they were afraid of UKIP. So that is in a way that's the power of the small parties. That if the larger parties fear that they're going to lose too much towards them because they seem to be on a winning idea, then they basically have to change tack. And I think that's what UKIP achieved with the Tories. And now the question is just simply, will something like that arise again that will basically make them gain sufficient momentum to force the bigger parties into a change of course again?
We've got to be careful, though, because we have to realise that we are standing in the presence of the future leader of the UKIP party.
Oh, no, I don't know.
I'll future you intend to lead the UKIP party, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, why do you assume that we're talking about you, Dankula? God, you're so far up your own arse.
Fair, that's fair.
Of course,
I'm going to fight David Coburn man to man.
If this tweet gets 10,000 retweets, I will become leader of the UKIP. Oh, fuck.
No intention of running for leadership. No intention. I'm quite happy just being a party member, and, you know, it's a good platform to spread how free speech is good, authoritarianism bad. Fuck the government.
Stick it to the man through governmental means. T-Bag says, what do you make of Farage saying allowing Tommy Robinson into UKIP would be a mistake? I don't think he actually said that, did he? I think he said that Gerard Batten would have to be careful about it, but that was about it.
Yeah.
I know he was basically like, it's something that I would be like. I don't think he's necessarily worried about Tommy Robinson as much as some of the people who Tommy Robinson might bring with him. So there's that. But optics has never really been something Farage cares about, so I don't think Tommy himself is actually that much of a problem. But yeah,
Tommy Robinson, of course, is going to be in the news again because his trial is coming up on Thursday.
Oh, really? I didn't realize it
Yeah.
was this soon.
Trial is due on Thursday in the Old Bailey. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's going to be one to mark on the calendar as to what exactly happens there.
Oh yes.
Is he going to go into the court? Do you reckon he's put on much weight since he left? Can you imagine if he's like he goes into the courtroom obese, so that he knows that by the time he comes out, he'll actually be about the right size?
Just a wee obese Tommy Robinson.
Or 5 foot of him.
I'm sorry, man. I just got this imagery like this British Pac-Man. Just a sphere.
Just wobbles in, does he?
Yeah, he just waddles in.
What is it? I've got. One sec. Let me just. I've got an image here of Mr. Creoso from like
The Meaning of Life.
From The Meaning of Life, yeah. Like it's just gonna go in like this. It's just gonna be about that size. God. There we go. What did you say, sorry?
I didn't say it.
Nope.
I didn't either.
Nah, that's just the voices again, man.
Oh, yeah. Couldn't listen to them. Oh, God. No, just imagine them have to roll Tommy Robinson into the courtroom. Here's another article, though, that's come up that I've been sent this week. Just to emphasize the ridiculousness of things. Children to be banned from cycling to school without number plates.
For fuck's sake, man! Like, can there be just one aspect of our lives that doesn't need fucking regulated, man? Like, fucking hell!
I remember when it was considered to be a bit overzealous to force kids to do cycling proficiency before they went to before the school would let them cycle in. Like, we have to make sure they've done the proficiency. But now they want them to have number plates. So children have been told they will be banned from cycling to their South London school if they don't put number plates on their bikes. They're introducing the scheme so that members of the public can report pupils who are cycling dangerously.
Instead of just asking their name.
What's that you got sitting in there on your lap? It's a can of Red Bull. Right, cycling under the influence. Put your hands behind your back.
Citizens' arrests have tripled in South London after children were forced to have number plates.
Keep your hands on the handlebars where I can fucking see them back.
Don't try any funny business, says grown man to 8-year-old boy.
Looks like you've had a bit too much Ribena, son.
It's like did you ever used to do that? We used to sellotape a playing card to your bike's wheels so it sounded like a motorbike.
Yeah.
That's an illegal modification.
You just wonder how high the statistic is going to go within the first 12 months of this, of 8-year-old boys having been tasered by police officers.
Stop resisting, child.
There won't be any police to taser them. They're all online trolling Twitter.
True. Yeah, sorry.
It's all these citizens' arrests that will come in. It's like, at what point does it become too much force to taser a small child on a motorcycle on a bicycle? The secondary school said the main aim was to keep children safe, but next it'll be GPS trackers in their shoes and all that jazz. It's like, we don't want them going down certain streets. Charity Cycling UK questioned why Stanley Park High wanted to make cycling more difficult. All students who cycle to school will be required to display a school-issued bicycle number plate when riding to and from school. Students without a number plate will not be permitted to cycle to school or lock their bicycles on school ground. It's
I think what they should do is they should just kind of, fit them all with collars which explode should they leave the school grounds or the bicycle lane.
I just don't know. I just don't know how they can enforce this. What do you do if suddenly every child decides they're going to cycle to school, and you've suddenly got like 400 kids who turn up, and they're like, "What are you going to do? Send us all home?" It's like, God. The Mr. Amin said the measure was in response to instances of children cycling in a way that endangers themselves and others. I mean, it's like one kid did a wheelie, banned. There you go. But also, like, how do you stop them just like basically going to their local Tesco, parking the bike up in the bike shed there, and then walking the last 200 feet to school? I mean, really? Unenforceable tats. That's what this is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think it's ridiculous. But can you imagine, like, you know, there's always like that one child who, you know, it's like the school suck up who's going to be the one reporting dangerously cycling students. So it's just like, who's going to be the bicycle monitor with the yeah, God.
They're gonna have a policeman with a fucking speed gun.
With a megaphone going like, please maintain all wheels on the ground.
You were spotted the other day going at 4.5 miles an hour in a built-up area.
We live in London. It's all built up. God. Anyway, I think that's the end of that. I'm just going to check chat for a little bit, and I think it's probably time to end. A bit of a shorter one today, but I'll hopefully have more material for next week. Joan Everton says, child wheelies. Policeman spotting potential danger and harm. Spears child. Saren says, not so. There's always that one child obvious. Yeah, you've got me. That was me with my little notepad taking down those things. Have fun. It's now having fun is now illegal in British school. And where is that school? It's in South London. Count Dankula says, doesn't your country have an Islamic terrorism problem? Yeah, it's right up there. Next for government to make, after our phenomenal pilot study in schools in South London, we're now making it mandatory that all vehicles, great or small, must have number plates and be regulated.
It's so that no one's going to cycle into big buildings and blow them up.
Or tube stations, you know.
Yeah.
I just got this image of sort of 4-year-olds being arrested for having been outside their homes on a tricycle without a number plate.
Have you got a license for that trike?
Allahu sidecar.
Greg Morgan says the final solution to stopping terrorism: number plates for children. We should have number plates on our shoes, says Tensler. And what's the fine for illegal unicycles? That's just the show comment, man. You imagine all these kids who are suddenly really well versed in unicycling because they don't need to buy on a legal technique. Schools hate him. Find out how this kid beat the number plate.
It would effectively be the Robin Reliant of bicycles, wouldn't it? The unicycle.
You just need a lesser license for it. Or have you got a license for those legs? How long before Sadiq Khan says too many white male children are cycling to school?
Oh no, he'll more than likely set up a special department. You know, sort of financed with several £million, and you know, having a staff of police officers specially dedicated to looking for children who are riding bicycles without number plates.
Oh, God!
It's as if he hasn't done it for something else, is it?
What's this image that you've got? You've linked in the side chat, Richard. What's it saying? Oh, is this the UKIP leadership face? Oh God! I mean,
I have a dream, Ken.
Very. You imagine, like in about you know, say in 100 years' time, your face as an influencer of the 21st century is there alongside Martin Luther King, Mandela, Gandhi, Dankula. It's just
Buddha.
yeah, Buddha's had more influence than you. Little do we know that you're actually a ventriloquist puppet operated by Buddha. This whole thing was planned from the start.
That's exactly it, man. I'm pug controlled opposition. That's exactly what this is.
The show comment man says, what about the last topic on stream? Something about hot, steamy accents. I was going to do it, and then I read the articles in question, and they were terribly dull. So I just decided that we would skip that for this week. Seeing as it just ends up in awkward silences, and I can't be having that.
The one about cycling was riveting.
So I replaced the accents about with cycling kids and number plate regulation. That's the most entertaining thing.
Wow, that other article must have been so bad.
Exactly, it speaks volumes about how awful basically the gist of the accents article was Scottish and Irish good, English bad. That was the.
It's not wrong. It's not wrong.
Also, if you come from Hull, you may as well commit suicide because no one likes your accent.
It's a good thing we don't have any Englishmen here.
And that particular article will have been, just by chance, had been written by someone who is called, I don't know, Dougal O'Hanlon or something like that.
I wouldn't be offended, British. You're essentially Scottish yourself. You live that far north.
Oh.
Do you know where he lives?
Yes.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, I do.
How the hell have you managed to? I tell you, you're a complete sellout Britisher. I've been trying to get your address for weeks.
The Britisher pretty much lives in Scotland, which would make him Scottish.
Interesting. We'll talk about this at great length in private Britisher.
I am not commenting on this. These are lewd rumours being spread about me here.
As a civic nationalist, I believe that simply being within our borders makes you Scottish. So,
what side of Hadrian's Wall are you on?
Welcome, brother. Let's die of heart disease together.
When you say Hadrian's Wall, do you mean the good side or the bad side? And then you don't mention which side is which.
Indeed.
I reckon that he lives right on Hadrian's Wall, rebuilding it brick by brick.
Anyway, or on that note, on this brutal betrayal, I think it's time to end. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And thank you once again to my guests. Thank you very much, Britisher.
Toodle pip.
Thank you, Tailed Feature.
Aikiva.
And thank you for turning up, albeit late, Dankula.
Here we fucking go.
There we go.
You should speak to the future leader of the nation, though.
Yeah, of course. You do. You got to go out swinging, right? Take care, everyone. Good night.